Crazy, my youth. Crazy outside. I be a trouble out here, yo. Trust me.
Not what the whole world so go if your belly hungry. So some boy more hustle. Babylon they want to come and first them muscle. If you back up and them, no you ain't a peanut. Not what the whole world so go if your belly hungry. So some boy more hustle. Babylon they want to come and first them muscle. If you back up and them, no you ain't a peanut. Trouble, no you ain't a peanut. Trouble, no you ain't a peanut. Trouble, now you ain't a peanut. Trouble, now you ain't a.
Just waiting on for some people to get in, you know what I mean? Salute to the massive worldwide, you know what I mean? On YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, you know what I mean? Salute. I mean, X now. They call it X now, right? Yeah, they call it X now. Very, very massive. We're going to get into some serious talk. We're going to put the music to the side right now. Because I made a post and people took it very, very, very negative. And tried to, you know what I mean, put me in a class, a space. I ain't with that. I ain't with it. I ain't with long messages on. I ain't with it. But I am with giving people the opportunity to address their issues once they get to know what I'm about. Right? Like I said on my live earlier, when I come with the elders. I come with the elders. If you want to know what I'm about on a higher level that they tried to come in with, like, listen, I don't got nothing against nobody. I deal with love, respect, and unity. If you're coming to me with the negative vibes, I don't care what you identify as. You got to move from here. I mean, I ain't dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. Right? So, when it came to the identity politics, right? I made the post saying, you know, after seeing Kamala Harris and Megan Stallion, and they was doing it, I'm like, this is not an example. This is not a good example for my people. It is not. Right? So people start coming with all these negative things. Oh, well, what you think is this? And listen. I could show you better than I could tell you. I could show you way better than I could tell you. You could believe that, right? Believe it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the elders. We're going to see what Malcolm X. I know y'all love Malcolm X. So we're going to see what Malcolm X's thoughts would have been, right? We're gonna examine an interview with Malcolm X, right? This is what we're gonna do, Master. Give me 1 second. We are gonna view this Malcolm X interview. Know this. Malcolm X's opinion is my opinion. If you're fighting against me, you're fighting against Malcolm. Going Republican, our goes with who got the best deal to better my and my family life. Who comes with the best offer to better my family's life? And we got to play close. We got to pay close attention to these leaders who are not leaders but puppets put in front of us to take us back to the plantation. Like Malcolm X said, right? Like Malcolm X said. But I'm going to let Malcolm speak. One love and respect, man. Give your thoughts, like, share, subscribe. Give your thoughts, YouTube. One love and respect for supporting, man. Listen, I'm going to let Malcolm X talk. I'm done, man. I'm done. Yo, Malcolm X, talk to that.
Really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals.
Just because a person is a Negro or a black American does not mean he's going to struggle for Negro rights or for jobs for Negroes or anything else. I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
Black people like me talk to the slaves. They didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?"
Yo, what's the matter, boss? We sick? We sick. Yo, listen, man. I hope you get an understanding of where I stand. I stand on the foundations of my ancestors. Massive, I stand on the foundation of my ancestors, the one who laid the foundation. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So when I get confused and I don't know what to do, I'm not listening to the politician. I'm not listening to the television. I'm not listening to what's going on in the streets. I'm going back in history because it repeats itself. Right? It repeats itself. The things we are going through right now, Malcolm X was going through it. Marcus Garvey was going through it. Lord have mercy. Joshua, a.k.a. Jesus, was going through it. Right? Right. So know where I stand, man. This just to let the people know where I stand and where my personality is founded on. When it comes to voting, when it comes to investing, when it comes into building, on top of the foundation that was already laid for us. Black men, we need to go back into the books of our forefathers. It's already written. All the folly that's going on today, it's already written, right? But I'm going to let Malcolm tell you. I'm going to let Malcolm X tell you, because y'all ain't going to take it from me. Y'all going to try to ban me and do all the stuff y'all do to me when I'm only repeating the words that it was written and passed down to me from my ancestors, like Malcolm X, like Martin Luther King, like Marcus Garvey, like we could go on and on and on, right? To the pharaohs. We could go on and on and on. To Amun Ra. We could go on and on and on. It's already been written for us, yo. Don't take my word for it. Take Malcolm X's word for it. Let's sit down, you know what I mean? Hear Malcolm X. When it comes to this voting, do not be fooled by identity politics. That's what they're calling it today, right? Do not be fooled by identity politics. Malcolm X done laid it down for us. Malcolm X done laid it down for us when it comes to the identity politics. If you didn't know what Malcolm X said about identity politics, you know what he said? I'm going to tell you what he said right now, Massive. Check it out. Check it out with me. One love. It's going down.
Just because a person is a Negro or a black American does not mean there's going to struggle for Negro rights or for jobs for Negroes or anything else. I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
Black people like me talk to the slaves. They didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He was as sick as the master. When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes. They ate the worst food. And they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes.
Which one are you? Which one are you? Are you the house Negro? And his wisdom live on forever, bro. His wisdom will live on forever. Dude, us who report back to the pages and report back to those scriptures and report back to those books. When time like this happened, it's already was written. They died to prepare us for today. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King sacrificed themselves so we could be here today. So it's our responsibility today to report back to the wisdom and knowledge they left us to build a strong nation. Talk to them, Malcolm, man. Talk to them. I'm sorry. I'm going to let the rest of it play out. I took time to make this video right here for y'all. You know what I mean? So y'all could get a understanding, right, of what I do in a spiritual and a cultural way. I only wish to unify my people, and unify my people, I mean the people of the globe. One love. Go ahead, Malcolm X. Talk to them, Malcolm.
I'm a field Negro. If I can't live in the house as a human being, I'm praying for a wind to come along. If the master won't treat me right and he's sick, I'll tell the doctor to go in the other direction. But if all of us are going to live as human beings, as brothers, then I'm for a society of human beings that can practice brotherhood. So before I sit down, I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope I haven't put anybody on the spot. I'm not intending to try and stir you up and make you do something that you wouldn't have done anyway.
I promise I wouldn't stop it, right? But I'm sorry, I have to stop it. For those who do not know, let me blow this up for y'all, please. This is the old Al Sharpton right here. Mr. Al Sharpton. Yes, Al Sharpton. Yeah, your black leader with the FBI agent. Here, Al Sharpton got caught on video. Here, he was trying to buy cocaine. Excuse my language. Coquita. Right? Right. The FBI agent right here told Al Sharpton, come work with us. We need you to set up the guys, your connects. Al Sharpton, your leader. Malcolm X warned y'all. Malcolm X warned y'all, right? About these guys, man. Come on, man. Let me back it up for y'all, man. I got to back it up so y'all can see this clearly. Let's go.
Up and make you do something that you wouldn't have done anyway.
Is like $350,000.
That's your man.
That's dropping.
We can
go bigger. Every kilogram we bring in 3,500 kilos.
That's your man. That's your man.
Bring in 10, you make 35,000.
What's the problem with that?
Yeah.
You let him speak, let me speak.
Yeah. You wanted to speak to this young woman?
No, I didn't want to speak.
That's your man.
You want to talk to her? Yes.
No. Yo, you see Malcolm X? You see Malcolm X face? Let me back that up. Yo, stop playing. Let's see Malcolm X face on that again. Massive. So stop playing, man.
Who wants to talk to her? Yes.
Yo, do your history on these leaders, man. They are house Negroes. They only come every 4 years. They come in our neighborhood, right? And parading around like they like us, asking for votes. Hey, Negroes, how y'all doing? Come back to the plantation, right? Come on, what we get out of it, man? No, hold up. Black men, what have we gotten for our votes? Nothing. We got a contract. Well, the women gets a contract for housing that says the man can't stay there, right? Come on, people. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Come on, people. Let's talk about this. Men. They give the woman a housing contract that states no male can live in the home. And they call it family program. The family program that inside the contract, it says no male can live in the home. No disrespect to some of y'all dudes or straight up men, yo. A lot that no man can live in the home with the woman when she under housing. This is not made up. It's in the housing contract, right? And if you are found with a male living in your house and they could prove it, you know, like he lived there, his car was parked out there for months on time. Now you're getting a letter from housing saying, blah, 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 this car right here, what's going on, right? Right. Then you end up getting evicted, right? Because you can't put him on your lease. The contract says no male, right? Right. We are flip, flop, and bamboozled, like Malcolm X said, man, by the system that y'all so-called up there fighting for, right? Right. The welfare or the public assistance program. Come on. The public assistance program. Another so-called family program that's what? Tell the women, if you want our assistance, you got to put the father of the child on child support. That if he living with you or not, then it's more likely or not, because you asking for public assistance 9 times out of 10, you already signed the contract that no male can stay in the home. Right? Right. So if you got that contract, if you go to whatever they call it, I don't remember what they call it because I don't go there. But the place you go, social services, I'm sorry. If you go to social services, 9 times out of 10, you have a housing, right? Right. So automatically, you're not supposed to have a man authority around you or in your home. So automatically, when they help you, you got to put that male on child support. How is that a family program? This is totally division, totally dividing of the home and totally division of the family. Come on, man. Come on, man. And this is what your leaders. Oh, black power and black this and black that. They're really CIs. I'm about to call them CNI, like the TV series. These guys are really federal agents. Puff Daddy, federal agent. Come on, these guys are federal agents. Al Sharpton, a federal agent who got caught trying to buy cocaine. Let me play it again for y'all, man. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. Y'all be coming in here, oh, vote Democrat, vote Republican. No, how about vote who got the best deal? Who's going to give me a better life? That's how I vote, man. Policies, not identity. Let me play it back one more time. I'm going to play it back, and I'm not going to stop it. I got to play it back. I ain't going to stop it, though. Let's go. Let's go.
Just because a person is a Negro or a black American does not mean he's going to struggle for Negro rights or for jobs for Negroes or anything else. I think that today you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
Black people like me talk to the slaves. They didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He was as sick as the master. When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes. They ate the worst food. And they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. Yeah. I'm a field Negro. If I can't live in the house as a human being, I'm praying for a wind to come along. If the master won't treat me right and he's sick, I'll tell the doctor to go in the other direction. But if all of us are going to live as human beings, as brothers, then I'm for a society of human beings that can practice brotherhood. So before I sit down, I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope I haven't put anybody on the spot. I'm not intending to try and stir you up and make you do something that you wouldn't have done anyway.
It's like it's 350. Give me 35,000.
What's the problem with that?
Yeah.
You let him speak, let me speak.
Yeah. You wanted to speak to this young woman?
No, I didn't want to speak.
Who wants to talk to her? Yes.
I pray that God will bless you in everything that you do. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture. And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out. And when you look at that man, if you know he's nothing but a coward, you won't fear him. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on you. He wouldn't need to sneak around here. This is how they function. They function in mobs. That's a coward. They put on a sheet so you won't know who they are. That's a coward. No. The time will come when that sheet will be ripped off. If the federal government doesn't take it off, we'll take it off.
See your leaders right there, the proof right there. You don't vote identity politics, man. We don't do that. Malcolm X been warned us. He been told us and been warned us. He done laid the foundation on national television, man. He went on Malcolm X went on national television and told us straight up, the full interview. Look at it on the YouTube and check the full interview, man. Malcolm X never lied to us, man. When Malcolm X told us that the black problem is not a civil rights problem, it's a human rights problem. The way black men been treated in this country to this day. They making up classes. They bringing in people and pushing them straight in front of the black man, yo. Black men been fighting for the kids' rights. Ain't get that yet. Black men been fighting for equal rights. Ain't get that yet. You put the black women in front of us. Then you put the LGBT community in front of us. Then you make laws for the Asian community before you make laws for us. Black men. To protect black men from getting busted in their head. Now you're bringing in the migrants and going to try to put them over black men. Black men. When you're going to stand up and say, okay, listen, all right. Hold up. No more skipping the line. Huh? No more skipping the line. And if we can't go like everybody, like the LGBT community, like the Asians, and like everybody else to the courts and get respect and laws set to better our lives the way they set laws to better everybody else's lives, then they just jump the line. Malcolm X already told us what to do. Malcolm X already told us what we need to do. You don't believe me? Listen, man. This is about love, unity, and respect across the board. It's not about making laws to benefit one set or one such and such over another. It's about human rights, the right to be human. It's written already in the human rights law that you got the right to be who you want to be, love who you want to love. It's already there in the human rights law. Every nation under God who has a human right violation takes their problems to the United Nations. Okay? We've been marching around here for years. We've been marching around, burning all this energy, and we still ain't get nothing. We still ain't get nothing. We burned all this energy through Corona for George Floyd. May he sleep in peace. But just a couple of weeks ago, a woman gets shot in her face, pounds in her face, in her home, unarmed, for saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That is not inhuman. That is not against the human rights. If it's not, tell that to Malcolm X, man. Tell that to Malcolm X, man. Tell that to Malcolm.
Sir, what's the real reason why you two men split? Is it merely ideological, or is it personality? What else?
Probably personality. It was not the statement that originally was given by the movement when we split. It's more personality than anything else.
You've called people like Martin Luther King, who just got a Nobel Peace Prize, an Uncle Tom. Is this correct, first?
Well, I'd rather say that in the States, there's a law that has recently been passed, a decision handed down by the court, wherein if you call someone an Uncle Tom, they can sue you for libel.
Well,
so I never refer to them as Uncle Toms. I would say that Uncle Martin is my friend.
Uncle Martin is your friend, yet you would disagree with his approach to what he wants to accomplish.
Definitely. If his approach would bring about what the black man in America needs to completely eliminate the problem that we have, I would say well and good. But I very much doubt that anyone who adopts the approach that Martin Luther King has been teaching to our people in that country can point to any meaningful gains that has actually served to solve the problem.
Black Muslims have sometimes, whether you have or not, and I think probably you have sometimes, it seemed to me, been preaching hate to meet hate.
I don't advocate any kind of hate.
But there's a lot of talk that sounds very much like it.
No, I think that the guilt complex of the American white man is so profound until when you begin to analyze the real condition of the black man in America, instead of the American white man eliminating the causes that create that condition, he tries to cover it up by accusing his accusers of teaching hate. But actually, they're just exposing him for being responsible for what exists.
Well, that's something of an argument, but I've heard speeches made by some of the people of your group. I think I've heard you make speeches. It seemed to me that you were advocating what I would have to describe, I think, as violence to meet the serious injuries that have been done your people, with which I totally agree.
I don't call that violence. I don't in any way encourage black people to go out and initiate acts of aggression indiscriminately against whites. But I do believe that the black man in the United States and any human being, anywhere, is well within his right to do whatever is necessary, by any means necessary, to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of those human beings.
Just before Pierre takes it, you've got a pretty good fighter and the world's heavyweight champion lined up with you to help out. Yes, Pierre.
Well, Mr. X, if I guess I call you that, is that the proper appellation, yes. Mr. X? I'm wondering if you still believe, as I think you certainly did at the time you were allied to the black Muslim movement, in a segregated black nation in North America.
I don't believe in any form of segregation or any form of racism. I'm against any form of segregation and against racism.
Is it, am I right in saying that the black Muslim movement, which you have left, did believe in that?
Well, Elijah Muhammad taught his followers that the only solution was a separate state for black people. And as long as I thought he genuinely believed that himself, I believed in him and believed in his solution. But when I began to doubt that he himself believed that that was feasible, and I saw no kind of action designed to bring it into existence or bring it about, then I turned in a different direction.
Are you still a Muslim yourself?
Oh, yes. I'm a Muslim. I believe in the religion of Islam, which believes in brotherhood, complete brotherhood of all people. But at the same time that I believe in this brotherhood, I don't believe in forcing my desire for brotherhood upon those who aren't willing to accept it.
Of course, I think the Christians would say that they also believed in brotherhood. What did you say to that?
I'd say they believe in it, but don't practice it.
Well, that'd be a pretty good answer.
Sir, when the muezzin goes up in the minaret twice a day, he cries to the world, there is but one God, and he is Allah. Do you deny that there is a Christian God?
The muezzin does this 5 times a day.
5 times, and I only heard him twice.
Well, you were fortunate to hear him twice. But he does this 5 times a day, and the same God that he says that he expresses the existence of is the God that the Christians profess to believe in themselves, and the God that the Jews believe in. One God, the creator of the universe. The Muslims believe in the God that created the universe, and I think the Christians do, and the Jews do. Now, as long as all of them are talking about the creator, the Jews may call him Jehovah, and Christians may have another name for him. Those who are Arabic-speaking refer to him as Allah. Well, we believe in the same God.
Now, as the Muslim religion advances in the United States, are you modernizing it or sticking with the old faiths? For example, the complete segregation of the sexes.
I think that everything today on this earth is being modernized. Religious principles and practices, as well as political and other things.
Now, when you went to Mecca, this is a very sacred and forbidden city. I tried to get to Mecca myself and certainly didn't make it, not being a Muslim. But how would they accept you as one? You're an American. There are few American Muslims.
This is true, and by being an American and not having not being able to speak the Arabic language, I did strike a snag, a very serious snag. But I was fortunate to have been pretty well known by the officials in Arabia, and they knew too that I had accepted Orthodox Islam. It had been highly publicized in the paper, and I became a guest of the state. I was a guest of Prince Faisal, the present King Faisal, and they made it possible for me to go before the committee, Hajj committee or Hajj court, who examines you and asks you questions about your belief, and if you pass it, then you are okay to go to Mecca. But
you would have to have a translator then.
Oh, I had one. Then realizing that our problem in America, that we are black Americans, and we have a problem that goes beyond religion, we formed a group known as the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And the objective of this organization, it's non-religious, number one. Any Negro can belong to it. And the objective of that organization is to bring about a condition that will guarantee respect and recognition of the 22 million black Americans as human problem, not an American problem or a Negro problem. And as a human problem or a world problem, we feel that it should be taken out of the jurisdiction of the United States government and the United States courts and taken into the United Nations in the same manner that the problems of the black man in South Africa, Angola, and other parts of the world, and even the way they're trying to bring the problems of the Jews in Russia into the United Nations because of violation of human rights. We believe that our problem is one not of violation of civil rights, but a violation of human rights. Not only are we denied the right to be a citizen in the United States, we're denied the right to be a human being.
Mr. X, may I thank you very much for coming on our program and perhaps clearing away some of the cobwebs of misconception that some of us might have had about your belief. And I think you're a very sincere man, and it takes a lot of courage to admit a former belief is wrong, and we congratulate you for that and the service you performed tonight in giving us your views. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
You see what I'm talking about? This is the vibe I be dealing with. I ain't with all that useless talk, man. And this is directly for the like the Facebook people, because that's why I made this live. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with the useless talk, man. I really no, listen, man. If you want to sit down and have an intelligent conversation with me, we could always do that. We could always do that. I'm always willing to set the studio up and we can have our intelligent conversation. Anytime. I'm just giving you an example of what's in here. What's in here? Right? What I've been taught. Me telling it to you, me trying to explain it to you, it only going to get backlash. So that same energy, give it to the teacher. Because everything the teacher said is happening. Because you ain't want to follow the lessons of the teacher. Or while we're in this situation right now, you won't return to the books. You want to listen to people your age, get advice from people your age that's going through the same exact thing, that don't know their own way. It's been laid down for us already. Now, if you want to talk about that, we could talk about that. I'm not gonna get into anything that's not fruitful, that's gonna bring this knowledge. All that miss me with it. Let's talk about the condition of our people right now. Let's talk about how people running around stealing packages off of people's step. Let's talk about the carjacking that going on in DC and Baltimore. Let's talk about the migrant crisis in New York, Chicago, LA. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. If you want to talk about stuff, because we could deal with that. Let's talk about Miss Kamala Harris. Let's talk about who we're going to vote for. Who is giving us the best package deal? Are you a homeowner? Do you pay property tax? Are your taxes are going up? Do you have vehicles? Gas price going up? Do you got to eat? Groceries going up? Who offering the best package deal? Let's talk about that. Because I don't care about fame. I really don't. I really don't. Because my other guardian taught me never get your head swelled. But you ain't going to take it from me. I'm going to let you listen to Bob Marley, man. One love and respect to the elders. Good vibes only. Bob Marley. Talk to them, man. Talk to them, Bob.
Fame. I am fame by not being famous.
Come on, you know you're a famous man.
No, I mean, you know, not to me.
No?
Not famous to me.
Some people get drunk off of fame.
See, I learned from you was coming in, from I just started music. You know, the people them want me. Them show me say, hey, this game is a game where if you don't mind sharp, you lose your consciousness. So the only way you can lose your consciousness is because if you figure say you're getting, some people say rare, your head might get swell.
Right.
And if your head swell, that's it. So you know, really don't keep my head in a bandage that it can't swell.
How do you handle fame?
I am fame by not being famous.
Come on, you know you're a famous man.
No, I mean, you know, not to me.
No?
Not famous to me.
Some people get drunk off of fame.
See, I learned from you was coming in, from I just started music. You know, the people them want me. Them show me say, hey, this game is a game where if you don't mind sharp, you lose your consciousness. So the only way you can lose your consciousness is because if you figure say you're getting, some people say rare, your head might get swell.
Right.
And if your head swell, that's it. So you know, really don't keep my head in a bandage that it can't swell. True.
To the Lord, to the great Bob Marley. Salute, salute, yo. You hear his laugh? Yo, the man was so cool, my youth. But yo, before we get out here and the show, my youth, let me tell you. The other thing, I don't deal with race, man. I really don't. I really on a higher level of acknowledgement. I really don't deal with race. Make it make sense to me. Bob Marley, I know say Bob Marley his father is white, so-called white. Y'all forget that. Y'all forget Bob is half white or half European and half Jamaican. His name is Bob, and he gets it from his father, who was a military man who come over and meet his mom and Hardy. Yeah. And his message is love and unity. My message is love and unity. The knowledge of knowing race was created in 1779 by a German scientist by the name of Emanuel Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. Google it. The father of the race. He divided the race in 1779. Yeah. We became black and white. It's cool. It's cool. And a lot of people like, oh, there you had Malcolm X up there. Then you showed me Bob Marley. Those are the black people, blah, blah. Like I said, I don't believe in race. I get knowledge from everybody. And I don't know if you know Miss Jane Elliott, but I gotta let you know who Miss Jane Elliott is, man. Before I get y'all out of here, let me introduce y'all to Jane Elliott, the teacher. The teacher. See? Let's go, man.
To people who are different from you. What we're calling reverse racism is natural reaction to being treated unfairly on the basis of somebody else's ignorance. Now, don't ever let anybody say to you or about anyone around you that people don't like that person because of the color of their skin. That isn't the reason white people don't like people of color. They don't like people of color because they don't understand about skin color. And they don't understand that we all are descendants of somebody who looked like your mother.
There's a lot of conversations taking place about, let's.
You see how real she keep it? You see how real she keep it? Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all gotta Google Miss Jane Elliott, the teacher. The teacher. Google her. Trust me, she dropped gems. She dropped gems.
To institutionalize what you're doing to people who are different from you. What we're calling reverse racism is natural reaction to being treated unfairly on the basis of somebody else's ignorance. Now, don't ever let anybody say to you or about anyone around you that people don't like that person because of the color of their skin. That isn't the reason white people don't like people of color. They don't like people of color because they don't understand about skin color. And they don't understand that we all are descendants of somebody who looked like your mother.
There's a lot of conversations taking place about, let's have a conversation about race. How would a person go about having that conversation? What can they expect to happen in a conversation?
Well, the first thing they have to do is not talk about tolerance. I found out the day I was on the bottom in the blue-eyed, brown-eyed exercise with my students. I found out how it feels to be tolerated. I found out that tolerance means put up with or allow me to be. I don't need your allowance, and I don't need to be tolerated. I want to be valued, recognized, and appreciated. Put your tolerance where the sun doesn't shine. I do not believe in tolerance because in this country, we tolerate zits when we're little, zits when we're teenagers, hot flashes when we're old, and the flu and bad weather in between. We tolerate ugly things that are going to go away. I don't intend to tolerate anyone. I intend to recognize, appreciate, and value people, not to tolerate them. And I have all kinds of respect for the man who was part of the tolerance group in Atlanta, maybe. I have all kinds of respect for those folks, but we've got to change it from tolerance, because the powerful can tolerate. The powerless have to wait to be tolerated. I have no time for that.
I like that.
No, I'm going to get lots of angry responses to that one. And I understand that. But I'm reading a book right now. Everybody needs to read this book. It's called, everybody has to read this. Everybody that's watching this has to read this book on tyranny. 20 things that we've learned over the last 100 years in this country that have put us in the position we're in now, and what we can do about it. Everybody has to read this book. They should read this book first, and then they should read The Myth of Race by Robert Wald Sussman. And once you've read The Myth of Race, you will never, ever again go along with the idea that there are 3 or 4 or 5 different races. It was a lie made up by the people who ran the Spanish Inquisition. And before that, there were different colors, but race had nothing to do. There was only one race, the human race. We made that whole thing up. It's time to get rid of it. We have the power to do that. This country got ready for World War II in about 6 months. And you're telling me that we can't destroy racism? White people created racism. Anything you create, you can destroy. God created human beings, the human race, and they started out black women. White people created racism. Human beings created racism. It's time to get over it.
Can we go back 1 second?
Sure you can.
Massive. It's time to get over the crap. It's time to get over all this illusion, right, of colorism. Because when you look up the word colorism, it's defined as an illusion, a perception. It doesn't really exist. And if you don't believe me, I'll go get my Black Law Dictionary. Or you could just look it up yourself. Black Law Dictionary, not the English, not the Webster Dictionary. Get the Black's Law Dictionary. It is the original dictionary that the lawyers and the senators and the people who run this country, that's their language. Give me 1 minute. This book is heavy. And this is only the 10th edition. Black Law Dictionary. This is the dictionary you work with. It's the dictionary you work with. This is the dictionary that helps you understand the politicians. Right? You got this dictionary, you are more likely to comprehend what the politicians are saying. Like my speech ain't all that because I had dental surgery and I had all the gold in there. Now I got the fresh whites. So, no, I'm still getting used to learning how to talk with my new teeth. You get what I'm saying? I got the Rick Ross. But anyway, Black Law Dictionary. Dictionary about $200 to $300. But it's the dictionary of the law keepers and the gatekeepers. This is their dictionary. If you don't know this dictionary, you're not going to know what they're talking about. You're not going to understand what they are talking about because they use the same exact words with a different meaning from the Webster Dictionary. The same words have different meanings. So when they up here, the politician talking to you, listen, people. When you're sitting up there listening to Kamala Harris, right? When you're listening to Kamala Harris, Kamala, whatever her name is, when you listen to her, she is speaking Black Law Dictionary English. What you hear is Webster Dictionary. This is what we was taught. This is what they go by. 2 different books. This Webster Dictionary you could get for free. You got to pay like what, 200? Almost 300, depending on the edition you get of the Black Law Dictionary. This is the book. This is the book. Right? When they say, yo, how's your state? They're not asking you what state you from or how's your state. Oh, it's cool in New York. Right? They're not asking you, how is your state? Oh, it's cool in Maryland. It's cool in Baltimore. No. Your state is your mind. Right? Your state of health. Your state. Your condition. Right? When it's called the address the state, they ain't talking about address the DC. They ain't talking about that. He addressing the condition of the country, the state of the country. It's the condition of the country. When you look up Webster Dictionary, the state, oh, the state, a piece of land, blah, 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 blah. You look up Black Law Dictionary, state, condition, your condition, your state of mind, your well-being. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand what the politicians are talking about. You got to understand what I'm talking about. Just because I can't perfectly articulate my words because of my dental surgery doesn't mean I don't know Black Law Dictionary. And when I do speak 90% of the time out of this dictionary, not this dictionary. So I may say something and you may take it for this dictionary right here, but I really mean the meaning is in this dictionary. You get what I'm saying? Well, love and respect myself. You know what I mean? Gave you an opportunity to address real serious issues with me. Y'all want to sit here and talk about the Olympic show. Y'all want to sit here and talk about if this person, that person is a male or female. Y'all want to talk about stuff that is not helping our living conditions, our state, our living conditions. That's what I want to talk about. How are we going to unify? How are we going to make life better? How are we going to wake up from the illusion of identity politics or race when it doesn't really exist and pay attention to what exists? Property tax may go up, gas going up, food going up, employment is not going up, migrants crisis is going up. Come on, let's talk about that. When you're ready to talk about them problems, then you could comment and do all those things, them negative things. Boom, boom, boom. You want to go negative? I don't got no problem going negative on a lot. Not me, but if you want to talk to me, I maybe have the opportunity to enlighten you to where I stand, what my state is, aka my condition, not my state, New York, not my state, Virginia. No, my state, my condition, where I stand, my purpose. You get what I mean? One love and respect myself, man. I watched the whole world struggle, very hungry, that people come talk serious with me, man. One love and respect myself. There.
Crazy, my lord. Crazy outside. I pure trouble out here, yo. Trust me.
Not what the whole world struggle if your belly hungry. So some boy must hustle. Babylon they want to come and first them muscle. If you back up and them, no you ain't up in a trouble. Not what the whole world struggle if your belly hungry. So some boy must hustle. Babylon they want to come and first them muscle. If you back up and them, no you ain't up in a trouble. No you ain't